From the Big Daddy Studios, here's your host, Ric Hampton.
Yep, into the new episode. It's your host, Ric Hampton.
Hey, pause this. Rick, so we might be in your house, but this is the Bible Belt Bros podcast.
Okay, sorry.
Welcome to the Bible Belt Bros podcast. I am your host, the one, the only, Dusty, the one hope on Mixer, the two hope because the one hope was taken on Twitch, and my co-host who sometimes is here. He comes whenever he wants to.
I am the bros part of Bible Belt Bros.
Yeah, he's the bro. Yes.
I'm that plural.
He's the S in the podcast.
Dusty may like to do podcasts on his own, but I am the S.
And that would be Andrew Fisher.
Yes,
You're the S?
I am the S.
You're the S. Okay. And today on the podcast, we also have our buddy, Big Daddy Ric from the Big Daddy Studios. Like what you done with the place.
Looks much different than last time.
Very institutional, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a closet feel, you know? It's like I don't want to brag. So I'm going to keep everything.
Not quite minimalist, but yet, it's still, there's still storage here too. So you just have to do what you do.
So, Ric, you have started your own podcast.
I have.
Bouncing off of your fame through our podcast.
Hey, you know what? I will tell you this. You guys have both been pretty helpful in that, kind of following you guys' lead, especially with your podcast and what you talk about. Mine's a little different. Kind of do it like a radio show. Spent many years in the radio business, and so I just had to do what I do and know what I know, so that's what I'm doing. So, yeah, it's really been going well. It's Behind the Mic with Ric Hampton. You can find that
on iTunes, Podbean,
pretty much everywhere there. Stitcher, all of those.
Yeah.
Available.
You got Spotify?
I do.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
I actually see very little place from Spotify. So
same here, but it's on Spotify as well.
It's another venue.
And then Google Play or Google Podcast as well. I'm on that one as well.
Nice. Well,
yep.
Ric, we're just going to have you join in on this. Today we're going to be talking about social media.
Dusty's going to go on another rant.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a rant. Okay. I'm more going to tell you guys a story. Okay. And I'm going to be
And now for story time with Dusty Hope.
Names have been redacted.
Okay,
in
good.
The story. So I work for a company. Redaction number one.
Good.
So we're talking with this customer of ours about they want to do like a hashtag theme for the next year, and the hashtag they came up with is a really common national hashtag. There's plenty of sports use it.
So it's obviously not Me Too.
No, it's not.
Right.
Hashtag Me Too or pound Me Too, however you read the hashtag sign. Depending on your age, but
see, I left that out there for a reason, Dusty. I know when Ric sees a hashtag, it's a pound sign,
right? Yes, I'm of that age too, and I don't know that would go along very well with that pound me too. I'm not for sure if that would be the right one.
So I was looking up this specific hashtag because they were like, well, nobody ever uses that, and I'm like, that is a national hashtag, like, okay, and so. I looked it up on Twitter where you would go for hashtags,
right?
And it's used all over the place. And I'll say this customer is a school that we do stuff for, and I looked up the hashtag and I'm like scrolling through and I hit latest posts with the hashtag, and there's sports stuff. This school that they're posted about their sports stuff. Then there's a penis.
Oh.
And then there's a cock ring.
Oops.
And then some Japanese model. Like, I was just like, what is... so you're going to advertise this national hashtag and try to make it your own. And, we're making all these shirts and stickers and stuff that says, follow the specific hashtag. Yes. And, you can't control...
Was it the Cougars?
No, that would make sense.
Gamecocks.
Now we're going to play a guessing game.
No, it's actually an innocent hashtag. But that's the thing. It was like, if you're trying to have somebody follow a specific sports team,
right,
you use a specific hashtag. And so if you're trying to get known nationally for something and you want it to be viral like that, then you use a national hashtag so people find you. So it was just kind of like this, you're using a national hashtag but then you can't control the content in that hashtag.
Right.
And when you're telling all grades, 1st through 12th grade, to follow this hashtag on the Twitter sphere, and you can't control that content. So
Probably maybe a little more research and development should have been.
Well, what I found out, what I in my research feel like what happened is they searched the hashtag on Facebook. And on Facebook, there's not much because people on Facebook definitely don't know how to use hashtags.
Yeah, but
And,
Twitter was where hashtags were born.
Yeah, Twitter
so,
is where hashtags are born.
Yeah.
That's where you would go, and that's
Right.
where all the kids are on. They're on Twitter and Instagram. They're not on
Right.
Facebook because their moms are on Facebook. So
Right.
it's like, and their dads, I guess.
Yeah.
They're not really on Twitter either. It's really
It's mainly just Instagram and
Yeah.
Snapchat now. So it was just kind of a funny, so I thought I'd lead into the fact that, come on, people, understand how to use social media.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys had an experience with using social media wrong?
I will tell you that, and I don't remember. I've been trying ever since you asked me to be on the podcast. I've been trying to remember the hashtag, but I remember as a church, we used a hashtag right after they started becoming really popular. We had to explain it to some people, but we started using this hashtag, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it was, but it wound up being the same. It was a very popular hashtag on Twitter, but they had never seen it anywhere, so it didn't exist to them in their world. And it was the same way. It was like going and visiting whitehouse.com instead of whitehouse.org. I mean, it was the same situation.
.gov.
Oh, yeah, .gov or whatever. Yeah.
.org's the same
It was
as
crazy. It was crazy. I mean, it was absolutely nuts. But, yeah, social media is a place that probably, you really need to have a little more savvy when it comes to that kind of stuff, because I saw the hashtag in question, and I thought the same thing. Like, I've seen that hashtag before, like when it relates to sports, going after a certain medal, that, and it's very awkward to not say the hashtag, but
Yeah.
it really was weird because I saw that and I thought the same thing. I thought, wait a minute, I've seen that before.
Yeah, and so if you follow the hashtag, you're going to follow everything nationally about that hashtag. So then it's really hard to follow your local people. So anyways, I took it online, and I just did a Vaguebook post on Facebook about how people don't understand how to use hashtags, and then all these people started commenting with the wrong uses of hashtags, like, you're hashtag right, stuff
Right.
like that. And I felt like a noob. I feel ashamed because I fell into the trap. Because I'm usually pretty good about not saying stuff on Facebook when I see somebody do stupid stuff.
I'm going to disagree.
Yeah.
What?
I may disagree as well.
What?
You,
On my Facebook.
well,
Sometimes I schedule out posts for because I want to post something, but I don't want this person to know it's about them, so I'll wait.
right? That's nice. Well, that is good. You give them the mandatory days to I don't want them to know that this is about me. All right. So, Andrew, have you ever had that issue before on social media?
Andrew's all about fighting on social
I
media.
am. I'm all about causing controversy. That's actually why I left the local gossip page and stuff like that, because I'd just get in there just to pick a fight.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I've had it.
You'd go pick up your smartphone, start rolling up your sleeve. Well, this is
right.
going to get nasty.
Yeah. Internet tough man out
All
here.
right.
Not really, but unless I intentionally do it.
Yeah. So Vaguebook is a thing, the whole posting random, very cryptic messages on Facebook, known as Vaguebook. And you were kind of talking about that.
Yeah, so with Vaguebook, I guess I try not to post so much rants. Apparently, maybe I do on Facebook. I disagree. Or at least I could be doing a lot worse. Anyway, so...
Well, that's a good statement.
But I'm going to use this podcast as my
Well, go for it.
Vaguecast. Is that how you'd call it?
Yeah, sure.
So here's another post I saw. And again, names have been redacted. Him or her posted this. It's been a while ago, actually. I don't have a date here, but I screenshotted it, put it in my favorites, and I'm like, I'm going to talk about this at some point. Here's a post, in quotes. If you have a problem with me, you need to put on your big girl panties or big boy pants and talk to me instead of putting snide remarks and innuendos on Facebook or Twitter. My goodness, we are adults. It's unbelievable how much grown adults are acting like children. And I read that post and I was like, you are doing the exact same thing.
In quotes.
I thought I blocked you from my Facebook.
That's right.
And so
because the only name redacted out of there could have been Dusty Hope.
yeah.
Nice. Okay. All right.
And so, it's just one of those things, I read that, and I was like, do people not realize that you're just saying the same thing, the innuendos and the vagueness, and, just talk to me to my face, but you did the same thing to them.
But I'm going to go on Facebook, and I'm going to be very, very vague about it and tell you exactly who it is in a public forum. All right. So, do you think that you should just be totally honest about that? I mean, or just not post?
Well, here's what I'm saying.
Go for the gold, or what?
I'm saying that if you're going to post it on Facebook, could you do the courtesy of being as specific as possible so I at least know what's going on and I don't have to guess who are they talking about?
Right?
Are they talking about our pastor? Are they talking about this person in our house church?
Who made them mad?
Make it obvious.
Yeah.
Hashtag make it obvious. Yes. There's a good use of a hashtag, Andrew.
That's right.
And so, I would like to, for me, I would like to know. That's part of the, I saw in a Babylon Bee, the gossip loophole in the churches today.
Right.
Because a lot of this, I'm friends with more church people than non-church people, I guess, on Facebook. And so, but I see so many church people doing these Vaguebook posts, and I'm like, come on, tell me who it is. But there's a gossip loophole, the prayer team.
Yep.
If you're on the prayer team, you kind of know all the skinny about everyone.
Well, and I don't want it to be a case of not utilizing the prayer team, but I agree there is that loophole. As long as it's in a prayer group, prayer team, or anything like that, there's this loophole there that you can air out any dirty laundry you want under the guise of asking for prayer. I've seen it done year after year after year of being in the ministry, and it's everything from yes, Sister Johnson, do you have a prayer request? Oh, I do. I just want you to pray for Andrew Fisher. He's been drinking a lot again, and and then she commenced to just tell everything she knows, and and I'm always like, I don't really feel like that is really asking for prayer. I think it's more of a case of, hey, look what I know.
Yeah.
And I'm about to tell you everything.
It's like when people have baby announcements, and I see other people do this, like, oh, I kept that secret for so long, it was so hard and stuff. And I'd be like, I knew before you
did, right?
like, and it's just like, you have to be you have to have that attention on you. Like, no, I'm more friends with them than you are, because they told me first when they first found out.
I was in a prayer group one time like that at the end of a Bible study group. It's probably been, 5-6 years ago. You would not believe the amount of gossip that came out of that group. There were 3 ladies in there and then 1 guy. And I got to tell you, the guy was actually worse than the ladies. I mean, he was, I just want prayer for my best friend. I won't use any names, but
Dusty.
Well, it was weird because he's like, I won't use any names, but he's been having an affair with a woman in the office, the receptionist. And I mean, it just kept going. And so, of course, it's like everyone knows who the receptionist is. And so then at one point he said, but I just want God to heal, and I'll not use his real name, but I just want God to heal Jim's heart, that he'll be much better. And I'm like, okay, so we know who the receptionist is because we know what company you work for, and now we know who it was. Okay, that's good.
That's great. Well, then there's the other side of it, like being around these prayer circle chains, and then anybody got prayer requests? I do, brother. Unspoken.
Yeah. I have an unspoken request about a situation with gambling that Billy has been... You said it was unspoken. That means don't speak it.
Don't.
It's unspoken means stop speaking.
Yes, stop talking.
So there is a balance between just having unspoken prayer requests every time there's prayer requests and giving all the details.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So you definitely need to learn how to use Facebook, all the social media, Snapchat and Instagram, because it's a proper thing too. I mean, that I saw that post, and I've also seen several that are just like that as well. Well, God knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
You know who's the worst at Vaguebook, though?
Who's that?
Our pastor?
Yes. Our very own pastor.
Yep. I always see post so many times, and I'm like, what's he talking about?
But
I should be on the prayer team. Dang it!
Well, I will say that just to clarify, some of that to me actually it's kind of like I used to do as well, and that was I would be in the moment. So like maybe I was at a Bible conference or I was just somewhere, and I would see something happen, and I would just vomit it back on Facebook or something, and then like even my wife would. Okay, what's up with this? What are you talking about? You just said something about lighting a match and throwing it at a gas pump, Oh, I was at Quick Trip and there was some dude lighting up a cigarette right there. Oh, okay, well, you might clarify that because it sounds like you're at Quick Trip about to light something on fire.
Yeah, I am.
Right. If they don't stop posting vague stuff, I might.
I mean, he had a post like the other day that was like, does anyone have a plastic megaphone I could borrow? And I'm just wondering, what's that supposed to mean? I'm joking.
Yes, and now you know that it was for a sermon illustration, but exactly, where do these random things come from?
But that was a Saturday night, so I knew it was for the next day.
I knew it was for church. It was more like I couldn't find
Tuesday
one.
when he goes, you're not going to want to miss this.
What? What am I going to want to miss?
Yeah, it's Tuesday. Well, what are we not going to want to miss? I mean, I got to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so...
Now I'm going to wait?
Right.
Gosh, I'm on his Facebook right now, and all I see is just shares of stuff now. Like, he's got a lot of leads.
Maybe he blocked you.
He might have.
Now you can't see it.
You don't know if I blocked...
You're on his fake page.
Yeah,
You're on his public
I'm on his
page.
burner account.
Right.
Yes. Nice.
Now, there might be some specific people blocked from my Instagram, just saying, but...
Fine. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to post that about you, okay? Really? I at least pointedly said something to you.
A good heart with wrong priorities leads to bad decisions, and I just want to be like, who had a bad decision?
Who are you talking about? What's going on?
Crap, is that me?
Is it me? Right, yeah. Yeah. All of a sudden...
Is he talking about me?
all of a sudden it's Judas. Who's that me? Is that me? Doubting, am I doubting Thomas to your Jesus?
I'm trying to convince my wife. I'm sorry, this is totally off topic now, but I'm trying to convince her to be a stay-at-home dog dad. She makes
Dog
money.
dad? Wouldn't she be a dog mom?
No,
he
wants to stay home.
Oh,
I
you're
want to stay home.
Oh,
Yeah.
She's way more successful.
But again,
She can't
wouldn't
quit
that be a
job.
dog mom?
Shut your dirty mouth, Andrew.
Well,
Gosh,
So
I
we
don't know.
all
I saw the picture yesterday that was posted about the dog, and
and I said I'll
think
do this every day.
right. I think you'd make a great dog mom.
I think so too. Facebook. I mean, I get into the gossip loopholes.
Yeah.
I'd join that. I'm part of the church, and
Well, maybe you could head that up.
Rusty, I have a problem with you. I need you to stop sharing Lee's stuff. So it's
I know that is all
flooding your
that is on
account.
his page. Lee's.
Lee's. Can I just hide Lee's post so then I could find his
That would be
fake
Lee's
post?
Charburgers.
We were trying to make a point, and then
in
they're
the parking lot.
they're
Right
selling
here.
all this crap on Marketplace, and it's just flooding your feed.
Yeah.
God is always right on time. This is back in July 11th. But that's vague. What did God do in your life, Rusty? Tell me. I need to know.
Right.
Rusty.
You want to know? That's it.
That's really what it comes down to.
I see
heart
what it boils
situation.
down to is that fake booking for you is a frustration point. So give us the truth. Tell me everything all the
I
time.
want the details, dang it.
Well,
All right,
Dusty,
Dusty.
if you're at this stay-at-home mom thing, then
I'm going to pull out a couple of these chairs. I'll
Right.
turn it into a couch for you. You can just lay down.
you just lay down. We'll shrink your
What?
Whoa.
What is going on?
This is not that type of podcast.
This is not a
I'm
Catholic
sorry.
church.
I should have been. No, that's true. I should have been careful with the hashtag. I'm sorry about that. You're right.
Hashtag shrinkage. Here we go.
It is a little cold in here,
Oh,
but
God.
okay.
Okay.
Off topic, getting vague again here. Let's get back on topic.
Okay, so here's my my pastor impersonation of what the driving home point is for this podcast.
Okay.
Is to purge the urge to splurge all your problems on social media.
Nice.
Is that a good?
Sure, that's Twitter worthy there.
Yeah, purge the urge to splurge.
Purge the urge to splurge.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
What would be the hashtag for that?
Yeah.
PUS. Purge, urge, splurge. Hashtag PUS.
Okay. Well,
Should have thought that through.
yeah. You think? I'm sure that sounded much better in your head this morning than it does now.
When are we going back to our Christian title podcast?
Right?
Well, we had an episode with some missionaries.
We had one episode, so we are now a Christian podcast.
Again, everything's fine. All right with the world.
I guess that's the end of the rant. I don't know what else to say.
All right,
about
now
it.
let's tie this back into our actual podcast.
Okay,
Yeah.
Andrew, Mr. Spiritual.
What does the Bible have to say about this?
Who knows?
Well, wouldn't it kind of be, if you have a problem with your brother and take it up to your brother?
That's right. Yeah.
What verse is that, Andrew?
Okay, Google. What verse is, if you have a problem with your brother, take it to your brother?
Take a look at these results, starting with one from BibleGateway.com.
It says Matthew 18:15. Is that correct? I'm asking
That's
you.
what you were asking. I wouldn't know. I said I didn't know. Treat others the way you want to be treated. That's not a Bible verse, though, right? People say it is, but it's not.
The golden rule?
Yeah.
So this says, if your brother sins against you, you go tell
this
him
is
his fault. There you go. So yeah.
Celebrate recovery. First go be reconciled with your brother, and then come offer your gift on the altar.
Boom. There it is. So see, Google knows all. Matthew
So you know what?
18,
Put
15.
on your big boy pants or your big girl panties, if you're a girl and listen to this podcast, and go talk to them in person.
Yeah.
Oh, but my get to it was go talk to that person I made that Vaguebook post
Oh.
Yeah.
and air out your.
And say, listen, here's what I'll do. I'll find those people, and the stuff that I want to post that I can't post, I will just give to them. Like, hey,
Nice.
prayer request. Can you? Here's this. You can share it if you need to.
You can, would you pray for this guy? He's awful. And here's why he's awful. I don't know if that's exactly what the verse was talking about, but
It sounds right.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that might be vague too, use of the verse.
Well, I'll tell them the name, and they can decide.
Right? Good. Okay.
You know what I just heard from Dusty Hope? That so-and-so is cheating on their spouse with so-and-so.
And he told me it was okay because it's not vague at all. Okay. All right. Well.
Like, here's the thing about the home churches in the Bible is they drew people to them because of their relationships with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like, I want to be a part of that. And so, like, where I see a problem or fault in the church system now is we have so many problems with our brothers and sisters that we air out on Facebook and stuff instead of dealing with it. And it's my problem, too, because I'm a super passive person, and I'm
Yes, he is.
recently trying to really get myself out of that.
I'll test you. Don't worry.
Yeah, I need it. I mean, it's really something that I'm dealing with, being too passive and closing my eyes and just hoping problems solve themselves correctly. And I need people like you, Andrew, to push me as much as I hate you when you do it, and hate you after, and hate you now, whatever. Saying all that I tend to avoid confrontation with people and avoid those hard conversations. But having those hard conversations in love will actually draw people outside the church into this, wanting to be a part of this club, gang, group, belief.
And I agree with that. I think that if you do go to somebody directly and talk to them about that kind of stuff, a lot of it can be misunderstood, I think. With Vaguebook, that's one of the things that, because also they're wanting it to be somebody to respond with, are you okay? Is everything all right? Giving them the opportunity to say one of two things. Either on Facebook, they'll say, yeah, everything's great, or they'll message you privately, and perpetuate that continual Vaguebook. But if you were able to just get it out in the open, be done with it, and just get it over with, talk with that person or talk with, somebody, then, because I think it comes from passivity. I mean, I think because of the fact that in that moment you didn't say what you wanted to say, or you didn't put it out there right then when you were having that conflict with that person or whatever you're talking about, that gives you the outlet to go back and then complain about it without being in front of that person. When in reality, you should have just taken care of it right then.
Exactly, and that's usually half of it for me, is that I make up all these scenarios of what they think about me and what they're talking about me when they're not true. And so I remember a time when I was going through a divorce, and a friend asked me, hey, man, how's it going? Just as a casual thing. And I just said, oh, great, whatever. And then he left, and I was like, what if I said, I'm not doing good? And, what would have changed in that situation? I don't know. And
so I actually make it intentional. If somebody gives me an answer other than I'm good or okay, then, or even I will even pry into it. Sorry.
Are you crying?
No.
Okay.
I'll even pry into and I'm okay. But if they're just like, I'm good, then obviously they're in a hurry. They just want to end that conversation. But I'll pry into and I'm okay. Because that's not, obviously they're not good. There's something going on there.
Yeah.
Or if they're like, I'm not doing so well, then I'll stop and I'll actually pry into that.
But to me, it's that first step of not just saying I'm good and not having to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be intentional. I mean, if you're going to ask them, how are you doing? You got to be intentionally ready for them to give you a response other than, I'm good.
Yeah, because that they're not. I mean, especially like in your case, the answer, that was not the correct answer about divorce. I mean, it's never a good thing. I don't care what kind of life it was. It's still not, because it's emotional and it's that way. But it's funny because I same way. I remember that just recently. Actually, I had a friend pass. That we were really good friends, and we were from competing radio stations, but it didn't matter. He was always, I had a great word and a kind word, and so it was fascinating that, like for me, it took me all day to post about his death. I'd found out about it early in the morning, on Sunday morning, and it took me all day to actually write anything on Facebook about it, because number one, I figured, if I did, it wouldn't be true. But I also knew if I posted something that it probably would be pretty vague, because I didn't know any details about, that. I just knew that he had passed away in the night at some point. And so it might be vague, and that would lead to other people, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I would fall into that trap. So instead, I waited. I didn't post anything about it till later that night, once I kind of was able to gather my thoughts and wrap my head around it. So, sometimes that's also important too. Okay, hey, I understand that your initial reaction is to just post something on Facebook because you got to get it out of there, because you got to do something. But sometimes it takes a little bit of effort to think about that kind of stuff.
You got to process something.
Right.
You can't just put it out there like my hashtag, purge the urge to splurge.
Yes. Very nice.
So you just got to be able to process it first and make sure that you say it the way that it's going to be receptive to other people.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning. Thanks for letting us come over to your studio.
Sure.
It's a little easier. I don't have to clean house and all that kind of stuff. And
you clean house?
Well, you realize it's audio, right? They don't see your house.
Well, I clean it for Andrew.
Wow.
Just in case.
Looky there, huh?
Just in case things move.
Yeah.
Well, I really cleaned up for you too, Andrew. You can see everything's
Thanks, Rick.
nice and tidy and neat.
Mm-hmm. It's much better looking than the last time I was in here.
Yeah, I mean, what other studio do you know in America that has a compound miter saw there ready to go?
I've been eyeing that thing for a minute. Just saying.
It better not walk off, brother. That's all I can say.
Chalkboard, some old school wooden
desks.
I was actually looking at the mirror.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very ornate over there in the corner. I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought
Clothing racks over in the other corner.
I thought we were going Catholic with that design.
Right? It kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's all right.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Be more specific with your Facebook posts so I know what's going on. And we'll see you later.
Take it easy.